Hello, we will be talking about the planet Saturn today. As you know, Saturn is considered to be the malefic of the malefics, just as compared to Jupiter, which is considered to be the benefic of the benefics. This is right the opposite of Jupiter in terms of its benevolence. So Saturn definitely is the most malefic planet in Vedic astrology. Let's talk a little about the origin of Saturn or Shani. As per the Linga Purana, which is an ancient Purana or the ancient scripture, Shani or Saturn was born from Rudra. Rudra is another form of Shiva. And another Purana states that Shani is actually the son of the solar deity Surya. So there are different opinions about what the origin of Shani or Saturn is. But definitely Saturn is described as extremely malefic, and there is no dispute about that. Saturn or Shani is cold and dry, and it's an elderly planet. So if you look at a chart of a person and based on the placement, you will kind of get an idea how much that planet Saturn affects him and how does it affect his entire personality. There may be instances where Saturn is extremely strong in somebody's chart, and you will see a personality of an elderly person, a tall person. Saturn also describes somebody who's tall. Now, Saturn destroys the house where it sits, or the zodiac sign where it sits. And there are different opinions about that. Some astrologers are of the opinion that Saturn does not destroy the house where it sits, but it does destroy the houses where it aspects. There is no disagreement on this point, because all astrologers do agree that Saturn's aspect is extremely destructive. Now, Saturn aspects on the 3rd, the 7th, and the 10th house from where it sits. And it just creates a lot of malefic influences on that houses where it aspects. And the aspects are in terms of bringing miseries, sorrows, delays, disappointments, dejections. So pretty much the malefic influences transforms into these kinds of effects which Saturn provides to these houses. Now, Saturn also rules a direction, like I had mentioned in my earlier videos, that a planet does have a direction associated to it. The day for Saturn is Saturday, and the direction is west. The color associated with Saturn is black, and the gemstone which is associated with Saturn is blue sapphire. Saturn also owns 2 zodiac signs, or is the ruler of 2 zodiac signs out of the 12 zodiacs which we had discussed in our earlier videos. And those 2 zodiacs which Saturn rules are Capricorn, which is the 10th zodiac, and Aquarius, which is the 11th zodiac. So friends, as we go along, we will be discussing more on Saturn, but this is some basic information of what the origin of Saturn is, how it affects our lives, what rulership it has on the zodiacs, and some other things associated with Saturn, like the direction like the color, like the gemstones associated with it. But in a nutshell, we know that Saturn is an extremely malefic planet. It's a malefic of the malefics, right opposite to what we discussed on our video on Jupiter, which describes Jupiter as the benefic of the benefics.